It's just about time to start. Before we address the audience, I have a couple messages for you since we haven't been in here to rehearse this together. If you're on the back step of the riser, the tallest step, please step to the front of your step and don't have your hands or any part of you against that railing. Okay, the railings are there for your safety, but if you hang on them, they still might fall. So we want to stand forward from there and not be hanging on those. And the boys and girls, I saw lots of you waving and smiling and shouting to your parents. I hope we have that out of our system now, because once we begin the program, you're the performers, right? You're the professionals, so it's not talking time for us anymore. It's our musical time. Are you all set to go? Yes. Okay, here we go. Welcome to our afternoon performance of Classics, Classics, Classics. This one features our third graders, and some of you may be wondering why we split it into two different groups, but as you see, it takes up quite a bit of space for one grade level, so to do two grade levels anymore at a building this size just is too many students at one time. So we're hoping you enjoy the smaller, more intimate group with our third graders. In our Classics performance, we believe you're going to recognize a lot of the tunes you heard. You might not know the names of them, but we think you'll recognize them because you hear them on the radio and in TV shows and commercials, even though some of them were written hundreds of years ago. Most of these songs were written as instrumental pieces without any lyrics, but for our song fest, since the boys and girls are singing, there have been lyrics added to them, and in most cases the lyrics help the boys and girls to learn about the composers who wrote each of the pieces. So once again, thank you for coming to our performance, and from here on in, we're going to turn it over to our third graders, including our third grade announcers from Mrs. Gustafson's class. So put our first announcer come forward.
Franz Schubert, quiet and shy. He was only 5 feet high. Life for him was filled with song, but things just started going wrong. He fell in love, she got away. His bills piled up, he couldn't pay. He wrote more songs, they didn't sell. He stayed out late and felt unwell. A heap of trouble, trials, and tears filled up his 31 short years. And yet today, though he is gone, Franz Schubert's songs live on and on. Our next song is called One Song a Week.
Brahms was born in Germany in 1833. His father was a music man, and that's the way that Brahms began. He had a gift for lovely tunes. He played them in the town saloons.
But he loved his music series best. He thought it was the loftiest. His symphonies were only four. Most people wished he'd written more. This lullaby is one we know. We're glad Brahms wrote it long ago. Now we will sing When You're Sleepless in Hamburg.
Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky was a Russian lad, an awkward boy and often sad. His father sent him off to school. His mother died and life seemed cruel. He tried to study law, they said, but tunes kept running through his head. So he chose music he'd compose, perhaps some intorios. He found his style, he found his niche, though music never made him rich. He's famous now, so just remember, you'll always hear him in December. Our next song is How Would You Like to Have a Middle Name Like Ilyich? Students from Mrs. Benson's class will be playing instruments on this song.
Like was his claim to fame. He taught students by the dozen. Hard work was his second cousin. He had a prince to pay his bills, one who loves his courts and trills. The father of the symphony, he lives on our memory. Our next song will be one of 12 when he was born. Students from Mrs. Hauser's class will be adding some humor to this song.
Rossini was born in Italy. A famous composer one day he would be. His mom was a singer, his dad played the horn. With their help, his music career was born. He wrote Moving Town and it was a hit. Even Lone Ranger found it a fit. Its galloping rhythm sound like a horse. I'm sure that's what he intended, of course. Our next song is William Tell, overture played on the boom rockers by students from Mr. Wolfgang's class.
Made a crabby thing. I'm going to record you.
Philip Sousa. To John Philip Sousa, music was cool. His band program helped inspire music in our schools. John wanted to join the circus when he was just 13. His father had a better plan and helped him join the Marines. With gloves of white, he directed the band of the president. His marches inspired the war troops as across the seas they went. He composed many marches. His music was so clever. One of his most famous is the Stars and Stripes Forever. Now we will sing Stars and Stripes Forever. Instruments are played by students from Miss Schmidt and Mr. Keen's class.
Good afternoon. Just a few announcements before we conclude. My name is Lori Lockhart. I'm actually honored and privileged to be able to say I'm the principal here at Roosevelt Elementary School. Thank you all for coming. The kids put a lot of work into this, so I'd like to first of all just recognize our third graders. And just a few brief announcements. Obviously, to pull something off like this, not only does it take a lot of effort and collaboration, but just people going above and beyond. So first of all, I'd like to thank Miss Patty Doles. She is our accompanist today on the piano. One of our many fabulous Phi Ed teachers. Ms. Kim Rosendahl is back behind the video there. And if you would like to watch this, it will be on channel 19 and channel 188 at 7 o'clock on Sunday, May 17th, the video recording. I'd like to not go much further here until I bring up Ms. Hodak and Mrs. DeSanto, if I could. I know. I want to recognize both of these ladies. They have been just an absolute privilege to work with, and I want to tell you all how great they make us look every day. They work so hard with these kids and they put so much into it. We couldn't do it without them. I'd also recognize this particular young lady here is going to be finding greener pastures. Mrs. Hodak will be retiring. It was her last year with us, and we will sadly see her go.
Isn't always wanted, but we have to do it. Mrs. Zeller, our orchestra teacher, thank you, Lisa, where you are, as well as the two students that helped today, Ava Brogan and Brooklyn Muskie on the violin. We also have Mrs. Horner, our assistant principal, on the flute. She's still sitting down, she's not going to stand up. Miss Hauser on the French horn, third grade teacher. And then we're out of here. The first one is tonight at 6:30. For those of you that are strong at heart, there is a dance tonight here at the school at 6:30. If you'd like to come and shake a leg, you can sure do that. There will be A&W root beer float served. And one of the last two announcements, our Lost is Found, is outside and to the left. So if any of your students, children have come home and maybe are missing a mitten, a glove, a hat, a glove, a boot, or a coat, it could be out there if you want to take a look. And then the last thing is on May 19th, we do go to the polls here as a community. I would just encourage you all to vote. Obviously, one of the things on our ballot is for updates to our school buildings. So with that, again, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming. Again, third graders, excellent job. And we have a couple of young men here that have an announcement.
Walking on one day as Mozart. Mozart was a prodigy, smart as any kid could be. He played with 4 kings and queens, and such did they pay him. Well, not much. A wonder of the world, some said it may have gone to Mozart's head.
His music was so bright and sunny, who could have known he needed money? People hung to his minuets. He died so poor it breaks our heart, the king of all classic charts. Our final song is Mozart's 2.